Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to coverage of the Women's U.S. Amateur Championship from here at Strokers in Palm Harbor, Florida, where the sun is shining. The event is moving along. This event, of course, brought to you by our friends at the American Pool Players Association, with our streaming coverage brought to you by PoolDog.com. I'm your host, Jason Bowman. I'm joined by Mosconi Cup Team Vice Captain. That's a long title. Double J, Jeremy Jones. Jeremy's joined us down here in Tampa for the next few days covering this year's U.S. Amateur Championship. Jeremy, we've got an elimination match on tap. We're going to see a player that we just saw, Aimee Peterson. Aimee just absorbed her first loss. She's going to be taking on a former U.S. Amateur champion, Stacey Bourbeau. Before we head to the table, let's take a look at some of the rules for this match. Of course, it's a race to 5, combination of 8-ball and 9-ball. You can see up to 3 games of 8-ball and up to 6 games of 9-ball. We mentioned already it's double elimination. Both of these players now with 1 loss, which means one of them is going to be going home at the end of this match. One will move on. And the winner of the lag chooses the break or the format. The winner of the lag in this case was Stacey Bourbeau, who opted to go with the 8-ball format. So her opponent, Aimee Peterson, will have the break. Before we head to the table, let's hear a word from our friends at PoolDog.com.
Tired of the same old when you're buying billiard supplies? Come shop with the big dogs at PoolDog.com. You want pool cues? We've got over 700. Balls, cases, accessories, no problem. Want help with your game? How does hundreds of free training articles sound? Want to shop offline? We'll mail you a free catalog. Hit us up online, PoolDog.com, or call 866-843-3294.
All right, the ladies are ready to go. Again, Stacey Bourbeau, Aimee Peterson. You joined us for our last round. You got a good look at Aimee. Played a really tough match against Tina Larson. Both were undefeated. Went hill. Tina ended up winning that 5-4, which bumped Aimee to the 1-loss side of the bracket. Follow our bracket on CompuSport.us.
And it looks like to me we have, 4 left on the losers, is that right? And then 2 left on the winners, I believe. No, maybe more, maybe 8 left on the losers.
I know what I was trying to look at. It's a little... Got 2 undefeated still that'll go head-to-head at 3 o'clock. This is our 1 o'clock round here, starting just a little bit late.
Yeah, so I think we've got 8 left on the losers and what would be 2 left on the winners.
Final round scheduled for 7 p.m. Eastern Standard. Might start a little late just based on the time that the matches are now going off. So Stacey, looks like the bracket just hasn't been updated. Stacey.
Yeah, so there is only,
Tucker.
4, yeah.
Yeah, 8 seemed like a little much this late in the
Yeah,
day,
well,
I was looking at it.
Yeah, and with 4 left on the winner's side, right? If
two left on the winner's
right,
side.
but when
yeah.
there is 4, like Aimee
Right.
was in that position, and you lose, you go to the final 6 of the tournament. So for her to be playing right back, we could only have 4 left on the losers. And here to break off in the first game. Second ball, not quite as good a hit on the break as she did in her previous match. The second ball, a little thinner than she wanted.
That'll bring Stacey Bourbeau to the table. Stacey, 42 years old. Been playing pool 27 years. And she is, or was, the 2015 U.S. Amateur Champion. She also had a 3rd place finish in 2014, followed up her championship year with a 7th place finish in 16. So she's what we'd call a U.S. Amateur Champion veteran here in the women's division.
And that definitely means something, whether you've won it or not, just the experience here. You know, you get settled a lot quicker. And kind of interesting, she's looking at a very tough 15 ball initially. I'm not sure. The solids look okay to me. I think the 6 passes the 11. She's going to take on the 11 in the corner. So really wanting those stripes.
And Stacey opted to start in the 8-ball set. She gave up that break to Aimee.
Yeah, sometimes the layout of the table will say to you, I really want a certain, stripes, or I do want the solids, whichever it may be. But at the same time, unless all necessary, your first shot, you really don't want to take on a missable ball playing 8-ball, because usually you have so many choices, right? So you want to secure that first ball to get the run started. And here with the solids and stripes, they're both, not easy, but both very doable. Maybe I would have looked at a solid there if I was Stacey, but nevertheless, again, we talk about it. The ladies at the table and the players at the table can see the angles and can see things a little better than we can. So now you're going to see Aimee do the same, I think. Maybe try to take on a tough stripe. Okay, she's going to change her mind, and she wants to get the run started, securing probably the 7. Okay, so she held an angle on the 5, knowing if she cuts this 5 in, she can open that 3, 4, and the 13 that's kind of clustered up near the spot. Now, the one thing is, not anything definite as far as position on another ball. Should probably get a shot at the 3 or the 4. Oh, she missed the 5. I think a good effort as far as what she was trying to get done besides making the 5.
Trying to go back through the bracket and see where Stacey absorbed a loss. Looks like she lost yesterday afternoon. And has been fighting her way back through the 1-loss bracket. Won 3 matches since taking that loss yesterday afternoon, so.
Yeah, confidence is.
She wasn't ready to head to the beach just yet.
No.
Of course, some of our ladies that have been knocked out, taking advantage of what's been really beautiful weather down here in Tampa.
Yeah, you can't blame them one bit.
Temperatures in the low 80s. The sun is out. Nice breeze.
Okay, she may have to shoot this opposite-handed or reach for the bridge like she's doing to get at the 5. Really, kind of the only offensive shot she has, and I'm wondering if she can get the cue ball to run some here. She could get on the 4 ball. Okay, she decided to stay right there, and that tells me the 3 goes in the side pocket possibly, or maybe the 6 all the way up in the corner. Okay, it looks like the 6 in the corner. If she can knock this down, that should move the 3 open a little bit, and definitely at least get a shot on the 3 or the 4. And she overcut it. Okay, taking on a long 10 ball that might carry her to position on the 13, which is near the 1 on the top of the table. Okay, nice stroke there. Much more settled stroke than the first couple she opened with.
Stacey's out of Orange, Massachusetts. Started playing pool by accident when her dad took her to a men's club that had a pool table, and they started going to a small pool room where the owner, Al Holmes, took notice of Stacey and started teaching her the game. So
That's great.
a lot of great stories out there like that. Players got involved. Talked a little bit about Aimee's story. Her opponent got started when mom needed a lower skilled player on her APA team. So We all start somewhere, Jeremy. It's always
Yeah.
interesting to figure out what brought people to this sport.
And it's you know, to play golf, you got to go to the golf course. You know, pool tables, you find pool tables in a lot of different places, people's homes, you know, bars, senior centers, obviously pool rooms.
I think we used to have a division that played out of a firehouse.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
I
crazy.
used to help.
Churches. I mean, they got them everywhere.
Yeah, I used to help some people that ran a tournament. It was the police against the firemen every year. Yeah,
that's cool.
And they took it serious. Of course, they did like a triathlon kind of sports. I think it was golf, bowling, and pool. Oh, unexpected miss there. So with an early loss for Stacey and then some wins to back it up to carry her through the one-loss side, probably didn't have many of those. So she'll have to settle herself here. And Aimee very aware of the one problem really on the table is the one ball. So trying to, you know, get a view at how much room she has there to play position.
Both these ladies just coming out of matches, too. That's why we're starting a little bit late. Wanted to give them just a few minutes to gather themselves and refresh, get ready for this very important matchup here as we move closer to the semifinal and final rounds of this year's Women's U.S. Amateur Championship.
Yeah, saying that, you know, you kind of wonder who comes off that last round in a psychologically better place.
Well, Stacey's won 3 in a row. Aimee just took her first loss, so that's where you're going. I get it. Yeah. I get it.
Yeah, it's somewhat like other sports where always look for that, you know, a team that blew a big lead the night before in a baseball game or something, how that's going to carry over to the next day.
Funny how that works, isn't it?
Yeah. Human nature, I guess. So Stacey's got 3 stripes, very, very runnable, but then she's got a lonely 13 ball up the table, and that's what she was trying to get at immediately. And besides being stretched, she's going to have to use that bridge again, I believe. Yeah, she realized that, started to put it away, and then quickly grabbed it back.
I was taking a look. We do have another match going on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/APA Leagues. Teresa Garland and Jennifer Brzezinski. Looks like they're now tied 1-1 there. So, again, that is another elimination match there.
And the same boat as this one here as far as Teresa coming off a loss.
Yep.
Oh, great shot there with the bridge. Really nice effort from Stacey, and put herself in a great position now to shoot the 13 in the lower left and then slide over for the 14 in the side.
Greg, you're asking about Tony Tucker. Tony lost in the last round to Stacey Bourbeau. So she has been eliminated. That would put her finishing in a tie for 9th place. So congratulations to Tony. I believe she handed Lisa Cosette her first loss in the tournament, the defending champion. So good tournament for Tony.
Well, that'll be a little upsetting, that miss there for Stacey. Gotta shake it off, though, and wait for her next turn at the table. It's left a tough shot for Aimee, though. You know, the 4's not that tough, but with the 2 ball having her elevated, you know, she's going to have to shoot over the 2. Don't think she can really afford to cut at the 2, I don't believe. I mean, she could, but kind of think that you're probably going to shoot the 4 here. Well, maybe not. Maybe she didn't want to take on that elevated shot.
Some more questions about where players finish. So I'd encourage you guys to go to CompuSport.us. That's where you can see the bracket. You can see how everyone has fared throughout the tournament. You can see who's still playing, who's undefeated, who's trying to work their way through the one-loss side of the bracket in addition to these 2.
Great shot there.
Again, that's CompuSport.us.
So she's going to have to get the bridge, I believe. I don't think she can reach that one. And even lefty, I don't think you can reach over the table and get at that. And she probably have to contact the one here to hold some type of position on the one. Possibly just naturally contact the one, or otherwise maybe have to draw into it. I'm not so sure she can hit the 6 light enough to hold. Yeah, good shot. Doesn't want it to go in.
Oh.
She wanted to shoot off of that ball to get position on the 2 and 3, and now in a bit of a pickle.
Well, we've seen quite a bit of Aimee in the last couple days, Jeremy. She's gotten some FaceTime here on the stream. She's from Aurora, Colorado.
And I think she can roll the 2 forward and come behind the 3 with the cue ball, using the 3 to cover up the 13 and using the 8 to keep her off a shot on the 14, I believe. It's a little touchy. Not really sure otherwise what she has as far as the safety, and I don't really see much offensively. Well, she could play the 2 to the rail and try and kiss it in off the back of the 13. That's a possible shot. Okay, she was going after that safety I was talking about, and just a little light with the cue ball is all.
Nice camera work there by Steve Alejandro.
Well, she got a lot of draw on the ball. Going to play the 8 in the same pocket. Oh, no, excuse me, the 14 still, excuse me. So she's got a bank on the 14 or a thin cut in the side. Usually going to cut this one. Normally, as you progress in your pool game, you realize if it's cuttable, you'd much rather cut at the ball than bank it. Oh, nice shot. Oh, watch out, cue ball. Wow. So, unfriendly roll after a nice thin cut shot on the 14 in the side.
Could be quite the break here for Aimee.
So she'll shoot the 3 off and just kind of hold her ball for the 2 in the opposite corner. Should be the 8 in the other opposite corner where the 3's at now.
If you're just joining us, you're watching live coverage of the Women's U.S. Amateur Championship presented by the American Pool Players Association. Our coverage here brought to you by our friends at PoolDog.com. Aimee Peterson now shooting on the 8 ball here. Chance to take a 1-0 lead and a race to 5. Again, she's off to a good start. We've seen Aimee 3 times here on the live stream. 3 times she's taken a 1-0 lead. So we'll see if she can hold it or if Stacey Bourbeau can battle back, tie things up here. Aimee will have the break. A lot of folks wondering how you can get entered into the U.S. Amateur Championship. It all starts by going to usam.poolplayers.com. You can sign up today to compete in a preliminary round next September. The top players in those preliminary rounds advance to the championship rounds. Our championship once again be held here in the Tampa area.
I'd like to give a shout out to Troy and Tammy Jones.
Yeah.
Tammy, they're sweating it right now, and Tammy, a former champion of
two-time
champion,
U.S. Amateur champion and
a
APA
great player.
league operator.
She's a great player, period. And Troy, pretty great player himself.
Both, yeah. Seen both of them down here in Tampa over the years playing. I think one year they were both playing, and I was thinking, wow, we might have a man and woman couple win I think Tammy actually did win that year, and
Yeah.
Troy maybe got like 4th or something or 5th. So
well, it'll probably happen one day, I'm sure.
yeah, they got the pool playing genes, no doubt about it.
Yeah. Troy plays, known both of them for a long time. Very fierce competitors, even though you wouldn't know it, some of the nicest people on the planet. Okay, great spread there, nothing down. So Stacey Bourbeau going to have a good chance to get a run started and try and get a beat on her side for the scoring. Kind of favor the stripes right here, mainly because of the 5 and the 6, and you know, this 10 ball she's shooting right now, she's trying to get the 11 open on the first shot. Oh, great shot, good effort. A little unlucky, the 5 covered up the 13. She's not going to be too happy about that, but that's kind of how it goes. And she's got a little bit of an angle here on this 12, so she may be able to remove the 5 and open that 13 back up. Oh, good shot. Now she's moved the 13 into a suspect position. And so Stacey's wondering what she's got to do to get the balls clear and open. I think maybe, though, we'll get a look at the overhead here shortly. And yeah, that 13 got jammed up on that side rail with the 2. I thought maybe it was available in the lower corner later on in the rack. But so after really a couple of nice shots, still not out of the woods as far as getting an open table to run.
Delicious. It's Freddy's steak tips with garlic. Steak tips. Going on the street.
We're just raving over the food here at Strokers in Palm Harbor, Florida.
Right?
Look at that.
Well, look at that is right.
Whoa.
Can you smell the
You
garlic?
go to a
through the
pool room and
stream
find that kind of food.
Yeah, right.
What is that? Freddy's steak tips and
Freddie style. Yeah, their own sauce.
wow. Kudos to Freddie.
Yeah, I don't know who Freddie is.
Yeah.
But I'm already mad.
He's making some good food in the back. That's who Freddie is.
Okay, she's going to try and break it out. And I'll tell you, still pretty good, really. To come up with the cross bank there, that's not bad at all. That's 3 times that she's made a really nice breakout shot and was successful. But it could have came out a little bit better considering how well she's hit the ball here in game 2. So she's going to go for the cross side. Now position is going to take a nice touch on the cue ball. Cue ball is going to fall down to the lower rail. She may have the 14 all the way up in the corner. It's real close. But you can see the problem, right? The 14's on one end, the 11's on the other end, 11's on the rail. So even if she can get at the 14, going to leave a very difficult shot on the 11.
Take a chance to thank the staff here at Strokers. We mentioned Freddie, but really their entire team, all the girls running around taking care of the players the last few days and in the days to come.
Yeah.
Taking good care of our staff, so we appreciate all their hard work.
Yeah, the guys as well. They'll come from behind the bar around and to make sure, they don't want you to have to ask for a drink.
That's right. So if you're here at Strokers, make sure you take good care of them. They're taking good care of us. We appreciate all their hard work.
So it looks to me, though, Stacey's settling in. I think she's going to bury this long, tough 11 ball and go up and down the table for shape on the, nice shot, shape on the 8 in the side. Kind of woke up here in game number 2 and made one heck of a run out. That was not easy, Jason.
Ties it up 1-1 in this race to 5. We'll see one more rack of 8 ball before they switch to the 9 ball set.
Probably the most impressive run out I've seen yet, right there.
Stacey's a strong player. Again, we mentioned she is a former U.S. Amateur champion. She has several top finishes in this event. Plays with a Sean cue. Breaks with an OB. She says her best game's 8-ball, so we'll see. Tied 1-1. Both these ladies seem to favor the 8-ball format.
Again, a lot of these ladies started at some time playing recreation pool, which you play a lot of 8-ball, and then when you get introduced to the leagues, you play usually a little bit more 8-ball than you do 9-ball on the 7-footers, and it's just a game a lot of players become more comfortable with.
Yeah. I think in APA we've got about twice as many 8-ball teams as 9-ball teams across the globe. So, although you got some markets like our league in Japan is almost exclusively 9-ball. So I think they just in the last couple of years introduced 8-ball, but that was several hundred teams playing mostly 9-ball over there. So.
Okay, more of a head ball break if she's breaking from this position. Hit them solid, but the cue ball ended up in the side. So it's going to be an open choice table for Aimee.
I didn't see, did she follow that cue ball in with another ball, with an object ball? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
she made one on the break, but she scratched on the break. So.
Yeah.
So a choice here.
Again, if you're interested in finding out how your favorite player did in this year's U.S. Amateur Championship, you can go to CompuSport.us.
Okay, she's going to take the solids, it appears, and she definitely has some type of a plan to get at that 5 and 6, and it looks like it's probably going to be shoot the 4 ball, then use the 2 to drop down on the 5 and 6 somehow. And just curious though, and again, the camera doesn't always do justice for us, but just kind of wondering what if she has a pocket for either the 5 or 6 here in a minute. I don't think it goes by the 10. It doesn't appear. Excuse me. Doesn't have a lot of angle to try and like bust them up to break the balls open. She's cueing downward though, so she may be shoving the cue ball with some force here towards the 14 and the 5. Watch out, cue ball. Okay, so a nice effort there trying to break them out. Of course, the results didn't come out how she wanted. She's got a cross-side bank at the 6, though. Wondering if she's going to entertain that shot.
I think we might be working through some sound issues. Got a comment about background noise, turning the mic on and off. I'm not sure what that's about, but if it's bothering you, go ahead and hit the mute button.
Okay, nothing left easy for Stacey. She's got 11 in the side that plays. Not easy. A 14 that may go in between the 7-1 and the upper left-hand corner. Very tight. Don't think she has a play on the 12, so she's going after that 14. And this is a little bit of strategy as well. She'd like to lock that pocket up if she missed it, but never mind the missing it, Jason. What a shot.
Just go ahead and make it, yep. Appreciate all you folks that are tuning in. Really appreciate you folks that are hitting the share button. If you really want some love from Double J and I, you hit that share button. Tuning in's great, but helping the rest of the world tune in is even better. All it takes is one click of the button.
All right, playing a combination, 12 onto the 13, and possibly using the 1 to kiss this ball in. Like if the 13 goes into the rail, it could catch the back of the 1. She played it just cleanly off the back of the 1. Smart shot, actually. Especially knowing she's got a little bit of leeway with the 5 covered up, with Aimee's 5 ball in a really bad position. So Stacey keeping it really simple and not trying to do too much extra.
This is the one-loss side of the bracket. Both these ladies have one loss. The winner of this will move on. The loser will head home, or at least out of the tournament.
And from what I've seen, Aimee's a pretty smart player. And I wonder what she's thinking as far as trying to get at this 5 ball. 5 ball in a very difficult position. Watch outside pocket. Watch out. Don't think it scratched. Oh, yes, it did. So now Stacey with ball in hand. I would probably take care of the 11 and the 15 maybe. I don't know. I kind of feel like the 10 and 13 aren't that big of problems, even though they're a ways away from the 8. Kind of feel like with that 5 ball being there and the 15 a little covered up, the 11 a little funny near the 8, I would take care of these 3 balls there and then go back up table for the 10 and the 13.
The Open Division of the U.S. Amateur Championship will get underway tomorrow. Some like to refer to that as the men's division, but technically it's an open division.
Sure.
I don't know if we have any women that attempted to qualify for the open division, but that'll run through Sunday here at Strokers. A lot of the guys starting to arrive today, checking in. I'm sure they'll be anxious to hit some balls on the table tonight after the ladies' final at 7 o'clock. You can watch that match here on our Facebook page. Again, that's 7 o'clock Eastern time.
Okay, so looking at a little different route now. Nothing wrong with that. Still taking care of these. Okay, she's not too bad. Of course, didn't probably want to get elevated over the 5. You never really usually want to do that, but she can deal with it with this short one in the side. Rolling forward for the 10 and then the 13 and saving the 15 for the last stripe before the 8.
This will be the last game of 8 ball. Be all 9 ball from here on out.
Gotta hit this one soft. Okay,
Nice.
that's like perfect. A little underneath angle to where she can move the cue ball a little closer to the 15. Now the one thing is, you know, she can't let the 5 get involved, but she also can't let the 7 get involved here. So she's going to draw this kind of towards the 15, but if she overdraws it, could kind of bring the 7 into play a little bit. Oh, she hit a little thick. May go anyways.
Nobody move. Wow. Just hangs right there in that pocket.
Yeah, so Aimee will most likely shoot the 1 into the 13 and kind of use the 7 to snooker her opponent Stacey on a shot on the 15. I think that's probably the smart play.
Vic, this is not the hot seat match. The hot seat match is scheduled for 3 o'clock Eastern. That'll feature Tina Larson and Natalie Jacoby. One of them will move on to the final round. The other will have to make their way through the one-loss bracket.
A lot of people would say, well, go ahead and make the 1 also here. I like not making it. And, you know, the 5's covered up anyways. So maybe a jump shot here for Stacey, and going to try and attack and try and steal this game from a bad position. But also for Aimee, if she misses this, she's going to open the 5 up to where things become a lot easier for Aimee. But I'll tell you, without seeing her use the jump cue, this is a very makeable one. But I think, you know, that's just part of the game. As far as Aimee did what she was supposed to do, we'll just see if Stacey returns with something better. Pretty good effort.
Just missed, yeah. Scratches, though.
All right, so
No reward there for Stacey.
she's got some choices here.
Yeah.
The 6 ball's kind of the lonely one, so that's probably the one she'll shoot off first. I think probably the 6, the 1, the 7 all the way down, where she's looking now. Yeah, 6, the 1 simply in the corner, and then just stay underneath the 7 to walk it down the rail and get position on the 5.
Aimee's qualified for this event twice previously, once in 2011 as well as 2013. Went 2 and out in 2011, 3 and out in 2013. So her goal coming in this year was to finish in the top 3. She's getting closer, Jeremy.
Well, I'm sure her game has improved and probably
absolutely
motivated just from this event. But we can see that, you know, our defending champion last year, she had an early exit this year. So
yeah.
that's how it is, and when you're playing, you know, really good pool players, whether it be amateurs or pros. Sometimes it looks like you can't lose, and then sometimes it kind of goes the other way.
Mm-hmm.
So she's got a funny little no angle kind of on the 7. She's kind of straight. So she could follow down for short side position on the 5 in the lower right, but most likely she'll just kind of stop her cue ball and take the little cut shot on the 5. Now she's looking at that short side I was talking about. The one thing about short side is I don't mind it as long as it kind of naturally takes you there, but you do have to have good speed control. If you end up a little short with the cue ball, you have a real funny shot on the 5, and if you end up long on the rail, you might have no shot on the 5. So I wouldn't doubt she just goes ahead and shoots the 7 and kind of just stops her ball and takes the little bit of a distance shot on the 5. Okay, she decided to come down for short side, and this is the spot I was talking about. If the speed isn't any good, the shot actually becomes tougher than that one she could have just stopped on the 7. The cut is more severe to the lower left, and if she cuts to the lower right, there's a possibility of a scratch. She could play safe here. She could just follow through the 5 a little bit and use the 8 to snooker Stacey on the 15. Looks like going after the cut in the lower right. Should play the 8 in the same pocket. Oh, great stroke, great shot. Really, really nice.
It's a good sign. We saw her miss a couple of those cuts in that same corner.
Yeah.
The last match might have cost her the match, so.
Yeah, I think.
Getting over that mental hurdle, maybe.
Hard to predict what would have happened.
Of course, now she's going to have to, yeah.
Similar
she's
shot
going to have to do it again.
9s, yeah. So I think, though, you know, don't baby it. And of course, you don't want to blast it, but go ahead and make a confident stroke. I see Aimee knocking this one in. Don't be tentative. She, again, kind of the same position.
Watch out here.
She got really fortunate. Pull is amazing. The one ball on the table, you got it near the side. Your opponent misses, and where's the 8 end up?
Yeah.
Right in the way.
Well, I hate to bring it up, but that's now 3 finishing shots, 3 games lost. Well, we don't know here yet, but we saw that creep in the last match for Aimee. Those 9 balls, basically in the exact same position.
Yeah,
Got a little
to the
bit better
same
angle
pocket.
there, yeah.
To the same pocket every
Same
time.
pocket, and she just has failed to put it away. So
Maybe a little bit of nerves because we've,
well,
oh,
we've
great
noted it.
shot.
We've obviously noted it. So I'm
Oh,
sure.
my, look at
Oh,
this.
oh, little luck here for Aimee as
man.
Stacey Bourbeau scratches there. So she'll have
Quite the opposite.
ball in hand on the 8-ball, and she's going to go ahead and, well,
Quite the opposite as far
grab
as
the
the
cue
bad
ball
luck.
for her.
Great shot by Stacey Bourbeau, and just really unfortunate to
Yeah.
scratch cross corner.
So Aimee will take that ball in hand and pocket the 8 in the side, take a 2-1 lead.
Yeah, heading into the 9-ball stage of the match.
Time to play some 9-ball as the ladies pull a few balls off the table. We're going to hear a brief word from our friends at pooldog.com.
Tired of the same old when you're buying billiard supplies? Come shop with the big dogs at PullDog.com. You want pool cues? We've got over 700. Balls, cases, accessories, no problem. Want help with your game? How does hundreds of free training articles sound? Want to shop offline? We'll mail you a free catalog. Hit us up online, PullDog.com, or call 866-843-3294.
We're here in our 4th game with Aimee Peterson to break off in the first game, a 9-ball.
Haven't seen a 9 on the break yet in any of the
No.
matches we've done.
No, seen one 8 though.
Yeah,
shot
saw
up
the
in
8
that
ball
corner,
yesterday, yeah. Kind of caught us off guard.
Sure did. Okay, nice break off there with the corner ball going down, and something too hitting them solid, like right there. Aimee showed you that you don't have to necessarily hit them 100 miles an hour to get nice results. You put a nice flush hit of the cue ball on the 1 ball, you get plenty of action on the rack. Now, cut shot, I'm sure she'll take on in the upper left. Cue ball may run back into the where the 3's at, and have a shot on the 2 in the side. I was interested to see Stacey play some 9-ball because she made a bunch of different types of shots in the 8-ball. Makes me believe that she can handle her business playing 9-ball, because 9-ball you make a variety of different strokes and types of shots. She made some bank shots. She made some cutbacks in the 8-ball and moved the cue ball a lot. So kind of tells me maybe she can really excel at the 9-ball. Just like that, for instance, moving the cue ball easily with the draw.
She said 8-ball's her best game. She plays 9-ball, 10-ball. American rotation is her favorite game, interestingly enough.
This is the 8, so she's going to have to power up with the cue ball a little bit to get it across for the 4 in the lower left. Looks like she's going with top English, top inside maybe. Oh, she's just punching it across. So decisions here for Stacey, and does she take on this tough cut to the bottom right and have a little bit of risk with the cue ball, or does she play the simple safe, banking the 4 back up and laying the cue ball back behind the 8 and 9? Like that. Yeah, she caught the 8 going by, though, so that's going to be a little upsetting.
Aimee Peterson back to the table, leading 2-1 in this race to 5. Aimee trying to bounce back from a loss, her first loss in the last round to Tina Larson. Stacey trying to keep the positive momentum that she's had the last several matches.
And this is a funny shot. You can shoot it in the corner, but really hard to get position without risking a scratch in the side. I kind of like banking this cross corner, trying to make it in the upper left, but if you don't, you leave a tough shot, and if you do make it, at least you can draw some position, letting the cue ball run back down table. That's what she was trying to do. And you see if she had hit it, you see how the cue ball is making its way back towards the 6.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a really good decision. She just need to let her stroke out a little bit more. And, of course, we're always all of us are always impressed when we see a good stroke and people make balls and move the cue ball easy. But one thing I've been very impressed with the ladies so far this week is their decisions.
Yeah.
Very professional, very smart decisions, very experienced decisions. Caught the double kiss there, so didn't quite get the safety.
Brings Stacey back to the table.
Yeah, and Stacey's, like most of the good players, pretty aggressive. Not sure she can let the aggression out here, though.
Says here Stacey's a 2012 New England Hall of Fame inductee.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty impressive.
Wow. Well, she's right up there with some big names then.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know much about the New England Hall of Fame, but
well, and Tom Brady and there's some Boston,
Bobby Orr.
Yeah, some Boston Red Sox that are involved. Larry Bird. There's some big names there. Casey Jones, the former coach of the Celtics for many years, and Robert Parrish,
Larry
Kevin
Bird,
McHale,
yeah.
all of them.
I'm guessing this is the New England Billiard Hall of Fame.
I don't know.
Just my guess.
Maybe. Maybe.
Why not just leave it open to interpretation, though? Yeah, I get it.
Well, I do know some, older pool players that, like Jimmy Karras. He was inducted into the Delaware Hall of Fame for sports. It wasn't just billiards.
Nice.
And, of course, a Hall of Famer himself,
Yeah.
BCA Hall of Famer.
So foul there by Aimee Peterson. Stacey will have ball in hand.
Yeah, so seeing both parts of Stacey's game, a real solid aggressive side, and then both times this rack she had to play it safe. It was nicely done. So she's trying to look at an angle off the 7 to possibly break out the 8 and 9.
Looking ahead, I imagine we'll have the hot seat match in our next round.
Yes.
Battle of the Undefeateds. I can't imagine they wouldn't give us that match, but
Well, I think you could take control there, Jason.
Yeah.
With that one. But I'm sure it's going to be the hot seat match at roughly 3 o'clock.
Natalie Jacob and Tina Larson.
Okay, she wanted that angle on the 7. She would have liked to have had a little more. Just because when you have to up the speed, you can lose a little bit of control on the line of the cue ball. So I think she still is going to go to try and break out this 8 and 9. But with top English, she could go right around it. Yeah, like that. Boy, but what a nice stroke this young lady has. Real natural, free flowing. A difficult safety here. I'm not sure how I would try to play safe. Don't really see anything That's a comfortable shot, meaning you feel like you're gonna get the safety. Okay, so I think she was trying to leave it just as tough as possible, knowing that she really couldn't get a snooker. So a big shot for Aimee to go up 3-1. You can see the 9 over the lower left pocket, so it's all about this 8 ball. A couple times Aimee's gotten a little quick with the stroke, and when that happens, you tend to hit these a little thick into the side rail. When she's stayed a little smoother, she's pretty much hit the center of the pocket almost every shot. Oh, great shot.
Nice.
Yeah.
Leaves herself nicely for that 9 in the corner. Aimee Peterson now with a 3-1 lead over Stacey Bourbeau. Race to 5. She will have the break. Got a second. I want to mention a special offer from our friends at pooldog.com. If you're looking to pick up a low deflection shaft, they've got their new Summit Pro. The Kamui Clear soft tip on it goes for $134. It comes with a 60-day guarantee, so you've been looking to get into a low deflection shaft but don't want to invest, a few $100s to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Some good bang for your buck, some good value there you can take advantage of. That's on their website, pooldog.com. Make sure you visit them for all of your Christmas shopping here as we move closer and closer to the holiday season. Closer and closer to the Moscone Cup, Jeremy. 2 weeks?
Yeah,
Is it 2 weeks?
Pretty
What's today,
much.
Thursday?
Thursday. It starts on the Monday, though.
So about 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, about 2.5 weeks, exactly.
Counting down. Of course, we did a little Moscone preview yesterday, Jeremy and I. If you want to go back and scroll through our Facebook page, you can get all of Jeremy's thoughts on the teams and the members selected. Big news earlier this week, Justin Bergman named the 5th and final member of Team USA. Get Jeremy's thoughts on Team Europe, the evil empire over there.
Right.
And the keys to reclaiming the cup. So that was kind of a fun chat. Looking forward to that in Las Vegas in just over 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's a pressure-packed atmosphere, and that's pretty much what the event's about, who can handle the pressure. As they're really, I've played in a lot of big events, and I've won a lot of big events, fortunately, but never felt pressure like I – and I like it. I like the pressure, actually.
Well, I don't know if there's any other pool tournament where you're going to see a couple thousand people in the stands.
Yeah,
that's a lot of people in there.
Yeah, it sure is.
Hooting and hollering and –
yeah, in the most respectful way possible.
Yeah, right. I tell you what, the referees there, they got a job, right? They're always trying to quiet the crowd down before the actual shot. They try to control the crowd as much as they can, but really cool dynamic there. So that's something special in the pool world there, that Moscone Cup.
Yeah, and I think that's part of it, is the fans recognize it's something special.
Nice shot there by Stacey. Gets that 2. I don't know about the leave, but
I think she thought she was going to run into the 9 with the cue ball to slow it down, and just kind of went right in between that 7-9. You'll notice she cut the 2 a little bit to the top part of the pocket, so that can change the route of the cue ball. Well, she hit that one thin. Thin enough that the cue ball is going to get back up on the 3 and leave a pretty tough shot for Aimee. One thing, though, we can see is that 4-9 is resting over the spot, and a possible early winner for one of these ladies if they can get the 3 down.
Mm-hmm. Some folks indicating they'll be in Vegas. You'll see Jeremy and I out there. Jeremy, of course, vice captain of the Team USA this year. You'd be a busy man there.
Yeah, besides pulling my hair
keeping
out,
the guys in order, keeping the guys in order, keeping them pumped up, making sure Billy Thorpe is well fed. No.
Oh yeah.
So out of that group, I know you were making them breakfast in London. Who's the biggest eater out of that group? My guess is Billy Thorpe.
Well,
But
Tyler can eat pretty darn well.
Tyler
but
puts it away, too.
Yeah.
The skinniest guy of them all really puts it
Well,
away.
Corey last year, he's not going to be there this year.
Right.
I'm hoping he makes the event to pull us in, and I'm sure he will
That'd
if he
be
can.
great, yeah.
But Corey and Tyler both, they do every bit of it, the peanut butter and the bread, the jelly, the biscuits, if they got them, the whole 9 yards. But all of them can eat.
Yeah.
All of them can eat. And believe it or not, the new member to this year's team, Justin, I've been around Justin a lot. We spent a lot of time together training at the early part of the summer, and Justin can put the food away.
All those guys are like skinny, too.
I know,
they're all in great shape.
Yeah, it kills me.
That's because they're young, Jeremy. They haven't.
Well, no, I was
their
young.
metabolism's gonna.
I was young.
That's
gonna
metabolism's gonna catch up
yeah,
with them.
Right.
Just like it does with the best of us.
Okay, it looks like she can get at the 3. She can get at it, that 4-9. Oh, look at there. I think that was a smart play, though, because she couldn't make the 3. The safe was difficult. So why leave the 4-9 for your opponent? Take a chance at it right there yourself. And, she didn't make it, and she didn't hang it and leave something easy for Aimee, but she took a chance at winning and took away an early combination for her opponent. Okay, she needs to draw her ball or slide it over for the 4 on the side, whichever she prefers. Oh, she could follow it. Okay. Thought she was a little straighter. Well, you can see it's really all about this 4 and 5 ball, Jason. The 6 is a pretty easy one up in the corner, and both the 7 and 8 kind of hang over the other sides.
Christy, you're asking about Tina's match. I'm going to assume you're meaning Tina Larson. We do anticipate that it'll be here on our Facebook page, probably a little later than 3 o'clock because obviously we've got a match ongoing right now. If it is not, for some reason they happen to start it before this match ends, that would be on our YouTube channel, but I'm guessing they're going to hold it a little bit. And
yeah, for sure I would. Okay,
put it on the prime table here. Sorry,
yeah.
Jeremy, go ahead.
I was just going to say she overran the cue ball a little, so she's going to play the 5 in the side, but real natural to go to the top rail and back up. Just don't overhit it. Oh, really nice control. So she'll want to draw the cue ball back a little bit here. That way she's not shooting the 7 and going away from the 8. She wants to come back maybe about where that chalk is on the side rail or a little shorter there. Oh, it's really nice to stay off the rail with the cue ball, too, just in case she needs to draw this a bit. But one thing she can do also is she doesn't have to come back that far for the 8. She can kind of hold the cue ball where it's at, where the 7's at, and play the 8 and maybe go 3 rails for position on the 9. 9's real handy, though, so anytime the balls are, not laying too tough, you really want to keep things real simple. I'll tell you, I know she lost earlier, but it was really those 2 9 balls that were missed.
The match was hers to have won, yeah.
So here on the last day of the tournament for the ladies and Aimee Peterson, she's played pretty darn solid.
Absolutely. Looks to be in great shape to go on the hill here. We'll say she's had a little bit of trouble with the 9s in the corner. Of course, it's been the other corner, so we'll see. Nothing is a given.
Yeah, and it's been that little 45-degree cut shot that's really got
kind of
her.
the opposite here. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
We got her with the jinx there.
Yeah. Well, I was hoping if we mentioned it that maybe
they
she
would reverse it.
Exactly, the reverse jinx. But unfortunately for Aimee, she's just having trouble when it gets down to that last ball. That's now the 3rd time we've seen that in 9 ball going back to the last match, and she had that issue earlier, the 1 game course,
here,
I think
yeah.
she won that game.
Yes, she did.
She missed that 8 a couple of games back, but ended up winning anyway. So.
Well, the one thing is she showed a little emotion after that miss, a little bit. You know, the other ones she just took with a grain of salt, and and obviously didn't affect her because she went on the next games to play really solid racks.
Yeah. Well, and kind of like the last time, I mean, Stacey, unlike Tina Larson, has not capitalized on the mistake. So good opportunity now for Aimee to come back
And in Stacey's defense, a little bit there. Of course, the player always feels like they should make it, and I understand that way of thought for sure. But that one was no gimme, not at all. Okay, so just a routine cut shot type of shot you shoot probably 2 or 3 times a game. Of course, you're not in the U.S. Amateur every day of the week either. Okay.
there you go. So she does go to the hill now with 4 games, needs just 1. Aimee Peterson will have the break. Looks like the ladies are going to take a short break. While they do, we're going to hear a quick word from our friends at PoolDog.com.
Tired of the same old when you're buying billiard supplies? Come shop with the big dogs at PoolDog.com. You want pool cues? We've got over 700. Balls, cases, accessories, no problem. Want help with your game? How does hundreds of free training articles sound? Want to shop offline? We'll mail you a free catalog. Hit us up online, PoolDog.com, or call 866-843-3294.
Their elimination match going on. Jennifer Brzezinski in that match, leading Teresa Garland 3-1. Playing with the telestrator. There we go. I just like to. There we go.
There you go.
There's Jeremy. Here's me. Oh, it didn't show up? The telestrator marks didn't show up?
I'm going to let you do
Playing with our little toys back here. All right, so the rack is prepared. Aimee's going to chalk that cue, position the cue ball. She's going to let it fly. Hope for that 9 on the break.
Yeah.
A quick win.
She hits them at a pretty mild speed,
Yeah.
so the 9 on the break is hard proposition. But I'll tell you, she's made the corner ball quite often,
Yep.
so look for that 3 in the lower right-hand corner. 1 coming 1 rail towards the upper right-hand corner. There's that 3 down. Okay, so a long shot on the 1, but a makeable. She's got to put a little steam on the cue ball to get all the way back down for the 2, which is near the cue ball now.
brackets can be found on CompuSport.us. See some folks including the link in the comments section. That's where you can review the entire bracket, see how everybody's fared here at the Women's U.S. Amateur Championship, get a look at the men's bracket, figure out when your favorite player plays tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going to start, what, 10:30 in the morning, I think?
Yeah, bright and early. We'll be bringing you coverage all day tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday. Can't quite get that one ball in that upper corner.
Yeah, and that's that distance makes things, that straight shooting a little more difficult.
Stacey Bourbeau at the table looking to turn the momentum in this match, which has swung pretty heavily to Aimee Peterson, at least at the moment.
It's similar to a match we had yesterday where both ladies played really well, but one of the ladies just didn't get many breaks.
Right.
In the 8-ball, Stacey made a couple great shots, ended up with some unfortunate scratches, kind of from nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so a long, tough 1-ball, but it offers natural position on the 2 for Aimee.
Playing on 9-foot tables here at Strokers in Palm Harbor.
Yeah, and some nice ones at
Get
that.
a lot of questions about the table size. Kind of one of the unique elements of our U.S. Amateur Championship compared to our normal APA tournaments that we do in Vegas, which are always on the 7-foot tables.
Okay, so pretty well struck there, but sometimes the pockets aren't so forgiving. And one thing, Stacey, I like taking her time there, even though you know the one's hanging, but you don't want to get some little funny angle on the 2 that makes things difficult to get position on the 4. Shouldn't be a problem, but a lot of people just like trying to get an early win when you're trailing 4-1. You know, a combination that maybe you shouldn't shoot at, you'll shoot at because you're trying to get something on the board and get going. Your pace of play can pick up easily too when you're trailing, because you just want to get things
right back
going.
in it, yeah.
Exactly. So
you don't want to be trailing, so you're
yeah, so pretty good discipline right there to take a little extra time, knowing that it's going to take a good, it's going to take another 30 or 40 minutes for her to make this comeback if she does so. So no reason to get in a hurry. Okay, she's got the 5 in the side. With this angle, tells me she's going to go up for the 5 in the side. So watch out for the 7. Don't want to get. Okay, she put a lot of spin on it to stay away from the 7. That was a nice effort.
You sizing them up? Got Tina Larson back here with us watching the monitors. A tight match with Aimee earlier. Yeah. Tina stopping by to say hello, getting ready for a big match on the the last 2 undefeateds, the hot seat match.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see a heck of a match between her and
Natalie Jacob.
Natalie.
Yeah, who I don't know a lot about her. I don't know if she's been here
I watched her
previously, but
yeah,
we're going to learn some about her, I
I
guess.
watched the other night, and seems to me she's a very good player from what I watched. A lot of the ladies here are a little younger, but she's a little older, probably like maybe 55-ish, I'm guessing, or something like that. But
Careful.
I know. I have 3 sisters. I know. So I got to be careful. But I'm guessing, but
I understand.
very experienced, it looked like, and very good stroke.
Yeah.
So
We'll take a look at her bio sheet, get a little bit better feel for
I wouldn't be surprised
background.
if she at some time or another tried to play professionally.
We talk a lot about that. Most of the players that are here are kind of on the cusp of that.
Right.
That
Nice
upper
stroke.
echelon of amateur play. Nice leave there on the 9 ball for
Really
Stacey.
nice draw stroke there from the 8 to the 9.
Closes the gap there on Aimee. Stacey now with 2 games, needs 3 to win this match. Aimee Peterson, of course, on the hill, needs just 1. Stacey will have the break. I don't know if we can get another score update on that other match. Still 3-2 in favor of Jennifer Brzezinski over Teresa Garland, but Teresa shooting on the 8 ball. With a nice leave on the 9 ball. Should be 3-3 there momentarily. I guess the winner of this match will play the winner of that match.
Yeah, and then
the winner of that will play the loser of the hot seat match.
That's exactly right.
As kind of the road map becomes a little clearer here at the Women's U.S. Amateur Championship. Only a handful of ladies remain in this year's event.
So we saw a pretty solid break in her last. Oh, yeah, real solid there. Nice, solid hit on the 1. Making 2 balls. And I tell you, a very runnable table here with a good shot on the 1, the 2 near. The 4 is over on the side rail. A little difficult position, but something she can get at.
Robert Wilson, I think you make a good point. I think Stacey's game has been pretty strong. He said it looks stronger than the score indicates, which kind of what you mentioned.
Yes,
I mean, she's had some tough leaves and made some nice shots where, you know, followed the ball in and scratched. So
yeah, and that 8 ball, she had 2 scratches on both fine shots, and I couldn't have saw those scratches coming. I mean, the cross side bank she hit, she just kind of actually put too good of a stroke on it to scratch cross corner. So I like the way she's a very talk about it with a lot of people about, you know, what better players look like when they're playing, and she looks very athletic to me. Very athletic motion in the swing, and not steering the cue at all. Not afraid to put a little power into the stroke as well. A little thick there. That one's going to upset her. And she's really left Aimee in a great position to be able to just stop her ball right there on the 4 and have a nice cut shot on the 5 in the lower left corner.
it's 4-4 or 3-3? Yeah. Okay. Just getting some information on that other match, which is now tied 3-3.
Yeah, and I really think as we continue with each match, of course 4-2 here with Aimee being on the hill and at the table, but I think we're going to see a bunch of hill matches. I really do. If not this one and the one going on in the next table right now.
Right. Oh. Looked to be going in, just kind of rattled in that pocket. Hung.
Yeah. So very difficult position shot here for Stacey. Obviously the 4 hanging, you don't expect to miss there, but with the 6 on the left side of the 5 and the 9 on the right side very much covering it up, this is where you have to be, again, a very clear-cut decision. Do I go for the position, which is very small window, which offers some risk of getting snookered, or do I go just to the center of the table with the cue ball and play safe on the 5? That way, kind of guaranteeing I don't make a big mistake. And that's what she's done. She's tried to get to the center of the table just to make sure she has some type of look at the 5.
Yeah.
And that's a hard thing to do. I mean, you know, when you're playing, you want to go for the run out. I mean, that's what you're there. That's kind of what you're trying to build your game up for, is running out. And Okay, good control there. I think anyways. Maybe not. Maybe she gave up the 5 in the side. I think she did, actually. I think the cue ball goes right between the 6 and the 9 and gets right at the edge of the 5 to clip it in that side pocket. A lot of angle, though, so she doesn't need much speed on this one to go up the table and back down for the 6 in the lower left-hand corner. Easy to overhit this one, though, and let the cue ball run a little too much. That looked like perfect speed, actually. Pretty nice. A little short of ideal, but. So she's got a couple options here. She can draw into the 9 and try to hold the cue ball with the 9. She can go forward very softly. Don't recommend that one too much. Or she can try and go by the 7 ball with top English and maybe play the 7 in the same pocket as the 6. I think that's what the angle offers. Oh, well. Pretty thin cut in the corner. I think the safety's going to end up happening. I think she's looking at the cut right now, but I don't think she's going to go for that. Yeah, that's super tough there, Jason. Now she's looking at the cross side or cross corner bank, excuse me, and I think that's much more of a playable offensive shot, but or no, she's maybe playing safe, just putting the 7 on the back rail and the cue ball up table. Yeah, like that. She wanted a little more out of the 7. She wanted it over another maybe half diamond or something like that, but she has still left Stacey very difficult. I think she's got to try to cut it in. And I'll tell you, I like her chances of making it. I really do.
Not sure what conversation is there.
Something caught our attention, right? Okay, she'll probably kiss the 9 ball with the cue ball, so. Oh, she got behind it. Still left nothing super easy for her opponent. And that was a thin cut, and that happens sometimes. They can't do a whole lot with the cue ball here. This is all about making the 7, coming across and taking a little bit of that shot she's been missing on the 9, actually. So overcut it, though. She has not left anything easy for Stacey.
Poor Stacey.
Stacey's wondering, what do I have to do to get?
Yeah, just a little bit of a break.
Yeah, I don't think she wants a cupcake or anything. Just something a little more playable. All right, 7 on the back rail like that, separating the cue ball and the object ball. Real smart play. That's called like a soft safety, meaning you're trying to get the snooker behind the 9, but if you don't get the snooker, you're at least putting the object ball in a real difficult spot for your opponent.
Teresa Garland now on the hill.
Big comeback.
The other elimination match.
She was down 3-1, I believe, in that match, yeah.
She's playing Jennifer Brzezinski.
I haven't seen Aimee play safe in this situation too much. She's gone for those banks.
Is she going to get this?
No, I don't think so. And it's going to.
Oh.
Wow.
Whoa.
Wow. And again, you know, it's not like.
And to win this, look what pocket she's got to
Yeah, the
drop
same,
that
same
9-ball
old,
in.
same old. So maybe
Yep.
knock out 2 birds with 1 stone
There you go,
here,
Aimee.
You know? But Stacey, again, if it's not her at the table getting a bad roll, it was a little one-sided as far as her opponent getting a bit of jelly right there herself, right? Oh, well, that corner pocket is, there's something
it's like
about
kryptonite for her.
it. It is.
Wow.
And so now, I mean, you've watched her play the last match, real solid. This match, real solid. So you can definitely see it's something mental going on there now. I mean, you don't make all those other shots.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Stacey's still got her work cut out for her a little bit here. Pockets that 9 in the opposite corner. She now has 3 games to Aimee's 4. But you're right, Jeremy. I mean, this is I don't want to call it a mental obstacle, but I don't know what else to call it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen this play out now with 5 different shots, I believe, five game-winning shots, and all, you know, in some cases, Stacey's not been able to capitalize, but we saw it going back to her last match with Aimee's last match with Tina, where she did twice with the 9-ball that cost her, and we've seen it a couple times with the 8-ball here, now the 9-ball again, and meanwhile, Teresa Garland, like we said, on the hill. This match playing out on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/APA Leagues. Teresa was down 3-1 in this match. Has battled her way back.
Yeah, Teresa from the Houston area and a real student of the game, along with being around a lot of great players in Houston, both men and women.
So we'll keep our eye on the score over there. Meanwhile, Stacey Bourbeau with the break, looking to move on the hill herself.
Okay, it looks like a dry one, and the 7's going to creep in the way or not. Maybe not. Maybe she has a pocketable one. So again, Aimee going to have to regroup here.
Yeah.
You know, and there's all kinds of emotions that go on in this game, and that's really a mental game more than anything. But, you know, after fluking that 7-ball in the last, you know, she tried to bank it, and she made it twice up and down, and maybe didn't get herself settled after a little bit of a high emotion on that and missing that 9. So,
well, try to keep the 9-ball away from that particular pocket if you're Aimee, right? Try to find a different pocket. If that one's closed, find another one. That's tough.
Okay, looks like she's going to play safe, just chipping the 1 and going behind the 7. Nice effort there.
Talked a lot about the opportunities that she's missed, but it speaks volumes to how well she's played because once again, she's, you know, still has the opportunity to take this match and was very much in the last one, and that's not going to help things.
No. Yeah, she's made some nice money ball shots as well, but then it's just been a few of them of the same type of shot.
Started with that same corner back in the last match.
So again, not an easy rack by any means, but the first 1, 2, and then the 3. Getting from the 3 to the 4 is going to be a little tricky. Going to have to put something on the cue ball to get back for the 4 on the side, but So a lot of times you'll draw the cue ball back here a couple inches. And she kind of just stopped it. So she'll draw back for a nice little angle on the 3 to come 1 rail back off the 3 to the 4. Something she's not too happy about here. And okay, that's a nice angle. Excuse me. You'll come back with low right English. Trying to bring the cue ball back on the line it's on now, maybe a little further. Pretty nice. Now she's got to start to entertain because the 5 to the 4 to the 5 to the 6 is very difficult. It's not easy by any means. So does she look at an early winner on the 5-9 here after pocketing the 4? Just because you can see, like, say she gets on kind of the angle where the cue ball's at now for the 5.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's not easy to get on the 6. So I may consider playing a 5-9 combo. Okay, she's going to move it around. But, okay, this is the angle I was talking about. This is not easy. There's not quite enough angle to move the cue ball easily. It's hard to draw your ball back over, 1 rail over. If she goes forward, she has to worry about if she clips the 9 at all, she could scratch in the lower right-hand corner. So this, again, a very difficult position shot. Not the easiest, it's a missable ball, I think the 5 ball is. One I think she should make. But moving the cue ball for position, not easy. And no matter what she does with it, she'll have to put some speed on it. Oh, she decided to play a safety. She didn't like it that much. And again, probably like a soft safety, not really getting the snooker, but trying to leave the object ball tough.
Aimee Peterson back at the table. Aimee on the hill here, needing just 1 game.
Trying to get that 9 behind the 9, and a good effort there. Again, leaving her distance if she didn't get the snooker. Trying to make things as tough as possible.
Been quite the contrast in terms of pace of play today from what we saw yesterday. It was very fast moving. Today really kind of has slowed down. A lot more safety play, defensive shots.
Well, they're all here to win, you
Yeah.
know, but I mean, sometimes the first day you kind of figure out how you want to win.
I feel like we've seen more missed shots today, too. I don't know if that's the nerves starting to kick in as the reality of, you know, how close they are to the finish line, or
and
the
that's
pressure of elimination.
That's a lot who tells you who's going to win any tournament is the people that the person that gets comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, again, an offensive shot. I'm not so sure she's even going to attempt because position is very difficult. So she may play safe on the 5 even, like that, run the cue ball. And that's what I mean as far as I've been so impressed with decisions by these ladies. Not only recognizing that, you know, Stacey was taking the worst of it trying to make the 5 and get position, but the way they're playing safe as well, you know, just like most of the pro ladies or the pro men would do.
Aimee Peterson surveying the table here.
Looks like she's trying to edge the right side of the 5 and run the cue ball. I think, anyways. She trying to bank this, maybe? Okay, hitting it light. Oh, bank it back down. Cue ball back down. And finally, another difficult shot, though, for Stacey on the 5, but one that does offer position on the 6 finally. So if she decides to go ahead and take on this tough shot on the 5, at least there's some reward.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a lot of what pool's about, is the value in each shot, you know. Nothing wrong with making a tough shot, but if there's no value, no reward, or no future in it, what's the point?
Right.
The 5 only some foot away from the cue ball, but just an awful angle to try and attack from. Going to have to elevate the cue most likely to avoid a scratch. Goes with a top English. I think the scratch is very possible. Yeah,
You
like
called
that.
it.
Yeah.
You called it. Ball in hand to Stacey Bourbeau.
So now just 4 balls away from another hill match. Okay, she'll want to set up with a little angle. That way she gets the cue ball off the rail.
Joseph Paul, you're on thin ice, buddy. Thin ice, brother. Keyboard Cowboys, Jeremy. You know how
Yeah.
they roll.
And now Stacey debating, should I draw this all the way back for the side pocket, trying to make it a little easier to get position on the 8. I like that better right there. I know this isn't the exact angle she wanted. She'll probably have to go forward with the cue ball now into the top rail and all the way back down. Could draw it, but take one heck of a stroke to draw it to the side rail. So I think top English here. She kind of punched it a little bit. Didn't quite get the top English on the ball like she wanted. And that happens. It's you know, it's a fine line between getting a little quick with the stroke where you kind of punch it instead of really kind of smoothing the ball like you want. Looks like she's playing safe here, not even thinking about the long rail bank on the 8. So here's Aimee with another chance, and we've seen her take on some thin cuts in the side where I thought she might shoot for the corner, and she decided to cut the ball on the side and run the cue ball. Here again, I think she's going to shoot the corner, but it wouldn't surprise me if she takes the cut. And she's looking at that cut right now, actually. So this is where sometimes there's a preference, you know. Where a lot of players also always, you know, kind of generally think, let me shoot to the shorter pocket. The shorter distance the object ball has to travel, that pocket. So that's maybe what's all right. With bottom English, that tells me she's shooting the corner.
Rattles another one in a corner pocket.
Mm-hmm. I was interested to see if she had made it. She would have had a very eerily similar shot on the 9 that has troubled her a few times today.
Hill on 6.
Oh, we're
Telling
Hill.
us Hill
Yeah.
on table 6. Jennifer Brzezinski, Teresa Garland tied at 4 apiece.
Well, we're just a couple shots away
As I
from
say.
Hill here.
Yeah.
Now, both of these are loser side, or one-loss side matches,
Yep.
excuse me, and whoever wins these will go on to face each other. So.
Yep. The loser, I think, will finish tied for 7th, I believe, here.
Should be 5th, 6th. Should be.
6.
Yeah, should be.
9 ball in the corner for Stacey. She is the winner of that game, and we're Hill. Let's see. Yep, I think you're right there, Jeremy.
Yeah, if you get to the final 4 of the winner's side and then you lose 2 in a row, you end up tied for 5th and 6th. It's odd how the bracket kind of puts you further one match than you would think, but
Bracketology by Double J.
still waiting to hit one of those big ones for the March Madness. When I lived in Vegas for a year, they had so many different ways you could play the March Madness, like a contest.
yeah.
Oh man, I loved it. I loved it. I was in action at a bunch of different casinos.
All right, here we go, folks. Hill on the feature table. One of these players will move on. One will be heading home. Stacey with the break.
Nothing down yet.
That's a dry break. Bring Aimee Peterson to the table.
Looks like she's attacking here. Went for the cut in the upper left. Okay, trying to drop her behind the 6. Oh, pretty good effort though. Now maybe a kiss shot is on, meaning clipping the 8 and just clipping the 1 and trying to make the 8, excuse me. Otherwise, a little touchy safety here. Not easy to roll the 1 by the 8 and put her on the back side of the 8. So we'll see what Aimee has in mind here in this 9th game and final game of one of our final 6 on the loser side.
This match was 4-1 at one point, wasn't
it? Yeah. Yeah, 4-1. And
Stacey has battled back. Helped along the way by some missed opportunities by Aimee. But chance to rectify all that here in this last rack.
Mm-hmm.
You have, when you lose a tough match, at night, are you seeing the shots that you missed?
Yeah.
It's tough to, you kind of know in a match there's a handful of them that made the difference, and
yeah, and
tough to kind of let go of them in the short term, I guess.
And most of the guys at our level, or ladies at our level, players at our level, immediately when you miss, you recognize why.
Yeah.
You know? So it's not, of course, it's the crushing defeat of a miss usually is, losing a match or whatever. But sometimes, you can recognize why and you can fix it. Or it's the one that really worries you is when you have that unexpected flaw in your swing or something that happens there. You're like, when's that going to happen again?
Yeah.
those things aren't very settling. But
Somebody asking about what the winners here at the U.S. Amateur Championship receive. Of course, their name is included on the U.S. Amateur Championship traveling trophy, kind of like our version of the Stanley Cup. But also important to these players, they move on to a professional event next year. Usually in the case of the women, they go play in one of the WPBA events and pick up their entry fee and their travel and lodging. And typically with the men, they opt for now the U.S. Open, Matchroom's U.S. Open, or the International Open, one of the big pro events. So some different benefits. And, of course, the defending champ gets invited to come back next year. You get a free trip back here to Tampa in November, which isn't a bad place to be.
no, not at all. And, you know,
Try to defend your title.
U.S. Amateur in any sport is generally looked at as the biggest amateur championship you can win.
Yeah.
So
I think for most of the players, it's the title, right?
Oh,
I mean, there are some nice prizes that you get, but it's kind of cementing your place in amateur pool history, and that's what drives a lot of the folks that try to qualify and compete in this event. Stacey Bourbeau, a former champion, she knows what that's about.
Yeah, and you know you can tell about it because if you look at the list of the players that are on the trophy already, there's no scrubs. You know, you're in there with some pretty high class. Okay, so she made a nice run on the first three. She's got the 4 here, so don't take your eye off of that. Now she's going to have to show off that stroke she's got, pulling the cue ball up the table with most likely some low left English, using the side rail. Should come right across the middle of the table, in between the 7 and 9. Now watch out for that upper corner. Oh, she did it beautifully. Lady's really got a nice touch and a nice stroke. Now she fell a little straight in, but you know that's pull. You kind of, if you don't feel like you're kind of working as you go through the rack, you're probably not doing it correctly. You know, it's not just a free swinging kind of game. You know, especially when it comes to serious tournament play.
Yeah. Craig's asking if we're going to move to a different location in a different state. Not in the near future. We kind of like our home here at Strokers, and we really a great environment here in Tampa. A lot of the feedback we gotten from the players, they really enjoy coming down in November as it's cooling off in the northern parts of the country, and you got the sunshine and the warm weather, the beautiful beaches, and lots to do here. Of course, we had a great hotel, the Godfrey, right here on the bay, right on the water. So kind of like a little vacation for the players that come down and play some pool. And if you happen to get knocked out early, there's a lot to do. So it's been a good situation for us here in Tampa. Been here now, I guess, 10 years, a little over 10 years, 11 years technically. Started 2009, so we like it here. I think we're going to keep doing it.
There you go. Well, I know Jose, the owner, you had mentioned
great.
does
Yeah, it
so
takes
much
great,
for y'all, you know.
That's the other thing, finding a good partner. You know, I mean, there's really good food here. You got a big major airport close by. Table conditions, you know. They go non-smoking here at Strokers while we're here for the tournament, which is a big thing, obviously, for a lot of people. So
I think she's got to slow roll this to hold position for the 8. She overcut it just a little bit. I don't think she's given up a straight-in shot in the corner. Probably Aimee's going to take a little time here, probably trying to figure out what type of safety she wants to use. And said Craig, that's Craig Lucas. That's a guy that him and his wife just opened a really, really nice pool room back in the DFW area.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's called Snookered.
Nice. Well, maybe that's why he's asking.
Yeah, it could be.
How many 9-foot tables there at Snookered?
He's trying to do a lot of pool over there. So.
How many 9-foot tables,
Well, he
Craig?
only has a couple right now, but he's got 15 or 16 tables total.
Nice.
Really nice restaurant and brand new right there in Frisco, which is a real happening area of Dallas. The PGA of America just moved there, and of course, Jerry World. He has all his practice facilities for the Cowboys in Frisco.
Yeah.
Only about 25 minutes from my house, actually.
Just kind of watching this play out, Jeremy, and I'm just seeing where that 9 ball's sitting. You know?
Okay.
Well, not anymore.
Yeah. So she wanted to get the cue ball by the 9 and let it run back up table and leave at least a long, tough shot for Stacey. But I'm interested to see how Stacey plays this. I think the 8 cuts in the side. And this is that angle that the monitor tells, and when you first look at it, it'll say, oh, it's not that much angle. This one right here is the one that fools you a lot. There's a lot of angle on the 7. So I think very difficult to hold the cue ball for the 8 in the upper left-hand corner. I think she's got to move this. Oh, she did hold it, so a nice touch. And a real natural, easy position off the 8 coming back across for the 9. Okay, a little light with the speed, so I'd say a medium difficult shot here on the 9, not too tough.
This would be quite the comeback for Stacey Bourbeau. 1 point, down 4-1.
There you go.
There it is, comeback complete. Stacey Bourbeau eliminates Aimee Peterson by a score of 5-4.
Yeah, and Aimee's gonna be thinking about that one, and
Yeah.
I understand it, but you know, she played a great tournament. She needs to keep her head held high and know that she's going to be a force in this tournament for many years.
Yeah, so she'll finish tied for 5th. Congratulations to Aimee. I know her goal coming in was to finish top 3. Top 5, not so bad. I know she's going to – there's a few shots she's going to replay in her head, no doubt, but hopefully that makes her a better player in the long run. And Stacey Bourbeau, again, former champions don't go away easily, and so we're going to see some more of her as we move on. For now, folks, we're going to take a quick break. Should be back in just a couple of minutes with our hot seat match here at 3 for the 3 p.m. round. No, we're running a little bit late, so stay with us, and we'll be right back.